passed from one ruler to the next. The scepter was received by Prime Minister, India's first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, from Lord Mountbatten to symbolically represent the transfer of power from the British to Indians. Even this time, it symbolizes the transfer of power from the British-era Parliament to a new and indigenous temple of democracy, a true reflection of modern India. However, the Congress party has accused the BJP of spreading false narratives. Jairam Ramesh has said the symbolism of transfer of power is false, calling it a BJP RSS distortion. The Congress MP says there is no documented evidence of the spectre being described as a symbol of power, transfer of power to India. He also says it is being used to push the BJP's political narrative and political agenda in Tamil Nadu. The BJP has hit back at the Congress. The staff was given by the holy Saivite mutt from Tamil Nadu to symbolize India's freedom, but it was banished to a museum as a walking stick. Home Minister Amit Shah has accused the Congress of hating Indian traditions and culture, while Union Minister Smriti Irani slammed the Congress for keeping the Sengol in a dark museum for years, adding that the BJP was giving it an appropriate place in history. So what is the true cultural significance of the Sengol? Is a symbol that every Indian should be proud of being turned into a political football? Are we seeing a petty political clash in the backdrop of a major milestone?
गांधी खानदान वाकई में हमारे देश के इतिहास, हमारे देश के लोकतंत्र के बारे में क्या सोचता है?
Joining me on the show, we have a rather interesting panel this evening. Satyaki Savarkar is the grandnephew of V.D. Savarkar. Chandrakumar Bose is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's grandnephew. Professor Kapil Kumar, historian, is joining me here in the studio. We also have Amrendran Vumidi, who is Sengol creator's grandson. I'm going to begin with you, Satyaki Savarkar, because, you know, 28th May, the day on which the parliament is being inaugurated, is also V.D. Savarkar's birth anniversary. The criticism that is coming from the opposition is that this event is nothing but BJP's ideological push. That it's not about the nation, but it is about BJP's ideology.
So, first of all, let me congratulate each and every Indian citizen on the occasion of inauguration of a new Parliament House. And we are really very happy. Not only Savarkar family, but entire Savarkarite world is very happy after hearing the news that it is going to be inaugurated on 20th of May, and a tribute to be paid to him on the same day in the new building itself. So, coming back to your question, is that I think the opposition or Congress or any other party is going to criticize, be it any project led by BJP. So it is not a surprise that they are going to boycott or they are condemning the decision. The thing is that Savarkar was not limited to a particular group. He was Indian hardcore. He did a freedom struggle. He participated in freedom struggle to free India, not to free Nashik or not to free Maharashtra from Britishers. So it is evident that he fought for the freedom of this nation. Again, if you hear his speeches, he clearly mentions that let the state be an Indian state, and let everybody shall not be treated on the basis of caste or his or her
Okay.
religion.
Okay.
It's purely they need to be judged on the basis of their quality.
Yes, besides the date on which the parliament is being inaugurated, there's also this big controversy around Sengol. Professor Kapil Kumar, which side of the debate are you on?
Well, I'm all for the Sengol, I'm all for the new parliament building, I'm all for throwing away all the colonial legacies. I'm all for creating a new mentality in India which should have been created way back in 47 after the British regime left. It is a great thing that now we see Netaji's statue standing under the canopy where the king used to be over there. That's a great thing for us to see that. The name of the Rajpath having changed. Raj was gone long back. In fact, I wanted it to be named as Azad Hind Path. I had been saying that for 4 years. But even it is named Kartavya Path. It is something. And why I say this is that why is it necessary for colonial mentality to go? Please read Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Azad Hind Dal he formed. You don't even teach 2 lines on that. That was the bureaucracy which he was creating, a nationalist bureaucracy against the ICS which will rule the country. And these people were trained in Rangoon, they were trained in Singapore, they came up to Imphal, they came up to Burma, other places, Morang, and they ruled also, and
Yes,
many of them
but
died
talking
also.
specifically about Sengol now, because we have discussed
Now, coming to
Netaji's
the
statue.
Sengol aspect,
Yes.
you see, people are not differentiating that in the Indian culture, there is something like Raj Dharma. And the Dharma is not, the translation of religion is totally wrong of Raj Dharma. We have Raj Dharma, we have Praja Dharma, we have Pitra Dharma, we have Putra Dharma, we have Guru Dharma. So Raj Dharma means a symbol that the king will rule as per the welfare of the people. Not forgetting that. It's not like those my lords. Okay. And this Raj Dharma was there in both democracies as well as in ancient monarchies. Even the monarchies, even the democracies. We had the Gantants. Even the king, Gantantras were also called the kings. It's a terminology. It's a terminology which was used as head of the state. I had done thesis on Baba Ramchandra. He was using the term Raja Praja, even today's concept. And he makes it clear. Because Indians understand this term very easily. King and Raja. Raja and all this. Now my question here is that these people are saying that president should not be insulted. Then why do they boycott the president's session of the parliament? Is it not an insult to the president? It is a very good thing which they do. You see the remarks of that Congress fellow, Udit Raj, what he said about the president. Where was the Congress? Why silent on that whole time?
Okay.
No one uttered at that time.
Okay, Amrendra, you know, for the longest time, nobody knew about history of Sengol. But now, because of the curiosity that is there now around Sengol, where did it come from? The entire history is being talked about, you know, and so many articles being written about it. Tell us, is the criticism around it, whether it was actually the symbol of transfer of power or not, a needless one?
It's absolutely no doubt that this is always a symbol of transition of power, and this is a typical phenomenon that you see in South India. So there's no need to even discuss that whether this was a transfer of power, is a symbol of transfer of power or not. So I think it's very clear that this is a symbol of transfer of power.
Okay, so you are saying it's very clear that it's symbol of transfer of power, but the Congress says that there is no recorded history to say so, that there is no evidence to suggest that it was indeed a symbol of transfer of power.
We leave the politics to the politicians, which they are so good at, but the people of this land know what a Sengol means.
Okay, Amrendran, you know, since you are the creator's grandson, are there some anecdotes that your grandparents shared with you regarding the entire creation of that scepter?
Oh yes, there are quite a few. When I was speaking to my uncle who's 98, he was telling me that the people from the Adhinam and some top people from the government had come and met him and told him exactly how the Sengol should be done. The measurements were completely given, the design was completely given, and there were at least 2 times that we had to actually take it to the Adhinam in Tiruvadurai to show them whether the piece of jewelry was perfect and was actually done as per the design. And finally, after 2 times, they finally accepted the design, and then it was manufactured and given to them.
Okay. And Chandra Kumar Bose, this entire debate is also what the BJP says, that the Congress doesn't respect India's history and tradition. Do you think we have seen the entire struggle that has been there for Netaji's family and the back and forth which happened between the BJP and the TMC on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's statue? Many would say, Professor Kapil Kumar being one of them, that his place in history should have long come, that entire canopy which was there should have had Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose several decades ago. It was not done. Do you think that is the idea of reclaiming history which is being done by the BJP, which was not done by the previous Congress governments?
See, the NDA government, under the leadership of Sri Narendra Modi ji, made an effort, ensured that freedom fighters, national icons who were not recognized, who were not given their due recognition, are put in their place, and the history of their movement should be told to the present and future generations. We are very happy that Narendra Modi took the initiative. In fact, this movement was on for quite a while, and many people were part of this movement. Some of us from the family also took up the issue with the Honorable Prime Minister, and we are very happy to state that Netaji's statue now adorns the India Gate, and I think that's the rightful place. And I think this Parliament, the new Parliament building, it's a matter of pride for the people of India that we are getting a modernized Parliament House, which I think is essential for India in 21st century. Now, as far as the history of the Sengol is concerned, you see, interpretations may vary, but politics should not interfere with history. I think that is very important, and the crux of the matter, we must segregate politics from actual history.
Absolutely.
Now, I have no reason to disbelieve the episode which has just been related, that this was a symbol of transfer of power, and Lord Mountbatten had handed over this to Pandit Nehru, the first Prime Minister of divided dominion of India. We need to also understand that. You see, we all fought for united, undivided India, and we all fought for Purna Swaraj. We wanted complete independence. But unfortunately, India was divided, Bengal was also divided, and it was only transfer of power of dominion status. So this history also must be related. You see, today, unfortunately, history has been written by court historians. Objectivity is missing. Our friend Professor Kapil Kumar Saab is on your show. He would also agree. I think we need to be very objective when we write the history of our freedom struggle, especially now
so
when
if this
the
is
new
an
parliament
attempt
building has been
being
opened.
objective to what has been our reclaiming of that history, Professor Kapil Kumar, then what will you tell those who are saying that there is no recorded, I'm going back to what has been said by the opposition, that there is nothing recorded as far as the transfer of power, this particular scepter symbols being actually the symbol of transfer of power?
Tell me one thing. How many of these who are saying there is no record have gone and looked at the archives, or have gone and looked into the Congress papers in Tinmurti House, or have gone even to the Parliament Library? You see, rhetoric and all these things are very interesting to say that. Let them do. You see, whatever I speak, and Dada Bose knows this. My book was out on Netaji. I don't speak without evidence, anything. The problem here is when that Ashokan thing was put over there on the Parliament House, top of it, it was a problem. It was, and I'll give you so many authentic instances. The big INA memorial which was blasted by Mountbatten, its things were given to Nehru. Where are they? The flag at Moirang of Azad Hind Fauj, which was flown there of Azad Hind Sarkar, presented to Nehru. Where are they? See these things, and they will not be even record that kind of things to do that. And I can give you with evidence. Why do they publish Nehru's selected works only? Gandhi's collected works have been published. What have they to hide that they publish only selected works of Nehru? And let me give you one last thing, Maria.
Professor Kapil Kumar,
one last thing.
Why was the Sengol kept in Anand Bhavan in Allahabad for so long?
I don't know what Nehru did, so many things, and I can give you one more example I want to give. On 15th August, in the original program, it was there that the Union Jack will come down on the Viceregal launch. It's on record. I can give you 100 evidences. Mountbatten told Nehru, we will feel very sad if this happens. And what Nehru did? He said, we don't want anyone to feel sad this day. And that day, only the Indian flag went up. The Union Jack never came down. They have forgotten that Nehru took oath of the Prime Minister of India under the King. The King abdicated the throne of India on 24 June 1948. Pick up the Gazette. Why did 15th August was selected at those dates? Can any of these answers be this question?
Is there a sense within the family that that this piece, which is the Sengol, was ignored, overlooked for so many decades?
Yes, there is some feeling that something that was done with so much of importance has been tucked away somewhere, and we are more so happy to the Prime Minister who's brought it out to the limelight and has given its actual respect and its due place in our Parliament and in history.
So when you say the due place is definitely next to the Speaker's chair. Inside Parliament.
That's right. Absolutely, inside the Parliament, next to the Speaker's chair.
Yes.
And reminding everybody of the duties.
So, what was communicated to your generation about the duties or what this symbol stood for? What does it mean?
See, the Adinam had the Nandi stands for justice, the Lakshmi stands for the prosperity, and the wheat, the twine of the wheat stands for prosperity too, flourishment too.
Okay. Let me bring in Chandra Kumar Bose. When we look at what it meant, 77-year-old Sengol, which is the scepter, which is a symbol of sovereignty, strength and righteousness, is being given its right place. But the occasion is 140th birth anniversary of Savarkar, and we have Satyaki Savarkar, grand-nephew of Savarkar, with us. Satyaki, Savarkar has been a controversial figure. In Indian politics, there have been the opposition which says that he played on the sides of the British. You feel, and the BJP is of the opinion that he was a great revolutionary. But looking at the day that has been chosen, again, what is the view of the family? I mean, is this something that should have been done long back, or finally it is happening in the 9th year of the government?
It is really sad that the opposition is not taking any lesson from their mistakes. They are committing mistake again by calling him on the sides of Britishers. It is not right. Because had he been with Britishers, he wouldn't have been denied every kind of facilities in Andaman. It was very harsh and cruel treatment that Britishers gave him. And that's the history. You can reconfirm the history from the archives or from the British Library. So again, they are making a mistake. They want to boycott, let them boycott. And I think they do not wish to arrive in the parliament itself.
Okay. Would you say, Chandrakumar Bose, that just as Mamata Banerjee boycotted the installation of Netaji's statue, that is something that should not be done by opposition. If there is a correction of history which is being done, then everybody should be a participant. Why make it about us versus them? Or why should it be about political disagreements?
See, one may disagree in political ideology, political thought and action, but I think it's a happy occasion when the new parliament building is being inaugurated and all parliamentarians, irrespective of their political affiliation, must be present there for this, event. It's a historic event, and I don't see any reason why they should boycott. If they can always express their views if they have a different view, but it's not necessary to boycott. And what is more important, let the new parliament function. You see, we have seen, I don't even recall the last session that was held in parliament. We never seem to have any sessions. We don't even complete any session. Nothing is discussed. Let a new dawn be there on Sunday, and I hope both the treasury benches and the opposition would do constructive business, would take India forward, would discuss business and not boycott business.
Okay, well,
I think that is the message I would like to give.
Business of that day is being boycotted, certainly. So there is a lot of disappointment I can certainly see here. Professor Kapil Kumar, Amrendran, Chandrakumar Bose and Satyaki Savarkar, really appreciate your time.
Can I give one line just before Maria Joy?
Sure, sir.
I have one suggestion for our Honorable Prime Minister, that one of the major symbols which required to be in the new parliament is the chair which Chandra Bose's father had brought from Burma, the chair of Azad Hind Sarkar, where Netaji Bose stood and run the first independent functional government of India, Azad Hind Sarkar.
All right.
The place for that is in the Parliament of India.
We have to move to our newsmaker who's joining us now. Joining me on this broadcast is S. Gurumurthy, editor of Tughlaq. Mr. Gurumurthy, really appreciate your time, sir. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will install the Sengol in the Lok Sabha, prominently close to the speaker's podium. Where did this idea of Sengol come from? Its historical evidence, if you can recall for our viewers.
See, the idea of Sengol being in Parliament is probably the government's idea and the Prime Minister's idea. But the fact that the Sengol ceremony took place and it had high value and profoundness was brought to the notice of the government by the dance artist Dr. Padma Subramaniam. She translated an article which I had written in the Tughlaq, citing various evidences that the ceremony took place. She translated that article and wrote a mail to the Prime Minister sometime in 2021, I think June or July. And she felt that this must be made public because this incident is not known and the Sengol has disappeared. But it was a very great event which the national leadership had agreed in 1947. And it was she who wrote that letter and that triggered the government into action. But that was in the context of the 75th year of India's independence. And I think the place where it should be, obviously it has to be in a high place, and the Prime Minister felt the place where it should be is the Parliament.
Mr. Gurumurthy, we are seeing a lot of opposition come in on Sengol, and the Congress is of that opinion that there is no recorded history or no evidence to suggest that it actually symbolizes transfer of power, and if anything, this is distortion of facts.
I tell you, it's a very unfortunate thing they are speaking against record. It is all proved by the several testimonies available that the event took place. The only point which the Hindu newspaper had raised today was whether it was in fact given to Mountbatten, taken back and then given to Pandit Nehru. It is the first part which was disputed. That the second part was never disputed. It is not being disputed. It is completely proved. Whether it was given to Mountbatten and taken back from him and given to Jawaharlal Nehru was disputed, and there also the Hindu said that it is on thin evidence. But unfortunately, the Hindu newspaper did not look at the most crucial evidence which was available in the compilation itself, which it is referred to as thin evidence, that the Adinam's contemporaneous record had described the whole event. And it is not done today. They had recorded it in 1947 itself, that this is how it took place. And they have said that Mountbatten asked Pandit Nehru what should be the ritual to be followed. And Nehru was confused. He asked Rajaji. Rajaji, being a man of wisdom and a man of history and a man of learning, and also a man who understood the traditions of India, recalled that the Chola kings used to follow a particular tradition of Sengol being handed over when power is transferred. And he asked the Adinams who used to perform this to come and do this. And there, the Adinam's record is a contemporaneous record. They didn't, I mean, they could not have visualized all these disputes which were to come. They had set in their record, in their history, that this is how it took place. They handed it over to Mountbatten, took it back, and then gave Gangajal Abhishekam to it, and then handed over to Nehru. This is a contemporaneous record. This was available in the compilation which the Hindu newspaper looked at, but did not look at this particular document, which is the critical document. So how to say that this did not take place?
Okay, so if the Congress party is saying that it did not take place, will it be seen as disservice to the rich culture of India? That if you're not aware of history doesn't mean that history doesn't exist?
I am not going to get into tutu meme. I have told what is on record. I have tweeted all this. You can look into it. I am not here to say what X is doing. I am only saying what is on record.
Okay.
And you have to take it and leave me at that.
Okay. Mr. Gurumurthy, why do you think we have never heard of this for so many decades? Why was it hidden, or many would say not talked about, despite it existing?
That is true. That those who did it will have to explain. I am not even going into it. The farthest I have gone in this matter in the interviews that I have given is, how did this Sengol disappear, who made it disappear, and who trivialized it as the walking stick of Pandit Nehru is worth inquiring, because that is the way we are dealing with our past.
Okay, then how did it actually become or get mislabeled as Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's walking stick? How do you think that happened?
I am not going to explain, but how did go into how a protocol agreed between two governments go into a museum, whereas it should have been in a very profound place. These are all issues. But that it went into a museum and somebody described it as a walking stick is all matter of shame. I don't want to get into it. It's a matter of fact. It is the people who did it who will have to explain. And I think this government, in my view, will have to cause an inquiry as to how a high national symbol receives such a treatment. I don't want to go beyond that.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Gurumurthy, my last question to you. Is this just the beginning? Will there be, or should I say, should there be more pieces of history that we'll find out about in future?
I don't know. If such pieces of history is there, it must be brought out. But I don't know. Because I can only speak of what I know, what I found. And I cannot speak of what I don't know. But if such a thing exists, then it has to be brought out. Because no country can ignore its history. Even the Marxists who ignored the history, Xi Jinping has begun recalling 5,000 years of Chinese history. Chinese civilization.
Mr. Gurumurthy, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for your time. We are slipping into a short break. Up next, ahead of the big inauguration on Sunday, a news epicenter political roundtable special from the site of the new parliament. That when I return. Stay with us.
Made out of gold, and the entire thing is made of 22 karat of gold, and it will probably weigh around about say 800 to a kilo of gold.
And it's in and your family, of course, has been involved. Your family tree is involved. Have you got to see it? Have you gone there to see it? Do you have an idea of the history behind it? And when was the particular year when it was made? Yeah.
It was made in 1947. It should have maybe 30 days before the independence. The order had come in, and my grandfather and his brothers together have executed the job and then given it to the government. The design had come from the Adinam in Tiruvadadurai. So the significance of all of this is known by the Adinam, which is a mutt. It's a Shaivite mutt there.
Yes.
So they have given us the design, and we have executed the job and given it back to the government.
Have you ever gone to have a look at it yourself? Because it's in Allahabad Museum.
Yes.
No.
I had not gone to look at it, but a few of people of our team, when we first discovered it was there in Allahabad, two of my team members had gone to Allahabad and seen the Sengol, and we were actually very excited. And we also confirmed this was the Sengol because there was a Tamil inscription on the Sengol, and it actually signified as to what this was, when it was given, to whom it was given, and why it is given also. So it's very clearly mentioned in Tamil. So when our people went there, we were able to find out this was the right piece that we were looking for.
Amrita, have there been orders since the news broke out that it's going to be a part of Parliament? Are people coming to you with interest? Do they want to get a replica made for themselves as well?
I'm sure a lot of people will be having that interest, but as an organization, we've decided not to do a replica of this for commercial purposes, but for our own purpose and for people to have a better look at it. We made one replica, but I don't think so we'll be doing anything for a commercial purpose, because it's a very significant part of thing, and it's with our government, and it should be the one of a kind, and it should not be replicated at all.
And are you happy when you first heard the news, when it was announced, for example, by the Home Minister, that Sengol is going to be a part and pride of place inside a Parliament? As someone whose family has been associated with it, and someone who's from Tamil Nadu and a Tamilian himself, are you proud? And as an Indian also, what were your first feelings?
Overwhelming. What else can I say? It was we are out of words to know something that my grandfather, our family had done, and now it would be the pride of the Parliament. And the Home Minister has spoken in such length about this Sengol. Really, the importance is now it's got its actual worth, and it's got its importance right now, the Sengol. For
and
so many years,
of course want to be a You would of course want to be a part of the proceedings.
Absolutely.
Okay. So hope to see you, and thank you very much. I must say it's really, really beautiful. So we can understand. So we'll have a slice of Tamil Nadu as of other states as well inside a Parliament. But thank you very, very much for speaking to CNN News 18.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will install the Sengol, a historic scepter from Tamil Nadu, in the new Parliament building, which is scheduled to be inaugurated in May 28th. Sengol plays an important and significant role in India's history. It symbolizes the transfer of power from the British era to New India. It was on August 14, 1947 when Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru received the Sengol. Recreating history, Prime Minister Modi will receive the Sengol from Adinams of Tamil Nadu before the inauguration and will place it inside the new Parliament Bhavan. CNN News 18's Pallavi Ghosh spoke exclusively to the descendants of the creator of Sengol. Listen in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amrinder Vimudi. And it's a big day for, I guess, for you. First of all, before I ask you about how you feel about it, can you just explain to our viewers the significance of Sengol and the history behind it?
Thank you for having me on your channel. I'm very happy to tell you that as a part of the family, and it is a great moment for our family and for our country. And this Sengol has actually.
On 15th August 1947, independent India's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, delivered a speech in the Constituent Assembly inside the Parliament. I'm going to quote a part of that speech because that was called the Tryst with Destiny. He said, "A moment comes, which comes but rarely in history, when we step out from the old to the new." We are stepping out from the old to the new. Hello everyone, and welcome to this special broadcast where I'm coming to you live with both the Sansads right behind me. We have Professor Makhan Lal, who's a historian. Next to me, Sonal Mansingh, who needs no introduction, but still I'll say she's also a member of parliament. Also, Krishna Raju, member of parliament of the YSRCP, and Radhika Khera, representing the Congress. Sonal Mansingh, how excited are you to step inside the new Sansad? And when you listen to this entire controversy, whether it should be about protocol, about, Sengol, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I'm in great excitement, excited anticipation. Can't wait. It's only day after tomorrow that I look forward to stepping in and listening to the speeches and really seeing the Sengol. And the Sengol is, of course, the Dharma Danda, the Raja Danda, and this is in the tradition of the democracy of India, which goes back thousands of years. And secondly, the controversy is the second name of Indian politics. So without controversy, there is no interest in life. And every day when I go abroad, I miss all this,
So you have started relishing controversy around everything. Or will you not be saying, ma'am, that when it is about a young nation such as ours having that very important moment where aspirations of millions, billions are being realized, it should be free from controversy. It should be about rejoicing.
It's an old nation with a new identity at the moment, because thousands of years and now 75 years pitted against that. Never mind, as I said, that without controversy, any issue does not really gain importance. Second thing, that on such a historic occasion, if everyone doesn't come together, so be it, because each one to their own buddhi.
Okay.
One would have expected.
Okay, so you are of the opinion it's all right if...
It's not all right. I said it's expected that everyone comes together. But if they don't, how can you force anyone?
Okay, Radhika Khera, you cannot be forced, and 18 other political parties who are standing with the Congress cannot be forced. But do you think it would have been better had it not been about this boycott? It should have been about, let's come together, celebrate the new Indian Parliament.
Celebrate our Rashtrapati being insulted. I think it's pretty shameful that you are celebrating and you want to celebrate that the President of India, who is the first tribal woman President of India, is being insulted in this manner. She is the first citizen of the country and you're insulting her, and it is her right to inaugurate the Parliament. Why is the Prime Minister so insecure that someone else's name will go down in history? Why does he only want his name? After all, at the end of the day, Modi Sarkar ka hi naam aayega, that they are the ones who build the new Parliament. He will get that credit forever. Why? What is the harm in letting, and what harm? That is her right. Like I said, she is the first citizen of the country. Why is the Prime Minister so insecure? And it is very, very sad day for the country that she has not been invited.
Okay. Krishna Rajuji, YSRCP, your party president, was the first one of the regional parties to come out in support of the new Parliament, and they said that, it will be about that grand celebration and your party will be part of it. The point being made about protocol. Is this right to raise the issue of protocol now?
See, let me give my opinion as a member of parliament. It's not that I belong to X party or Y party. As an independent, as a member of parliament, first I have to give my opinion.
Sure.
It should not be party based. it should be individualistic as far as this is concerned. Just because, suppose if had it been my party disagreed, even then I would have supported.
And you would have participated?
I would have participated.
Okay.
So, the Honorable Prime Minister earlier he has laid the foundation. Why did not anyone talk about this at the time?
Okay, so you are of the opinion that the opposition should have happened at the time of inauguration?
Even at the time they should have, if at all they are keen. Just for the sake to create controversy, they are creating controversy. As Sonal Mansingh ji said, controversy is good. Controversy is good for good publicity. But when the Honorable Supreme Court also did not agree for this logic, and when the bench an hour back, it has dismissed some petition filed by someone. So it's for the sake of argument, but who's the Prime Minister? Prime Minister has been elected by the public, and okay, many people were talking of, I had gone through the proceedings in the Supreme Court, they were talking of Article 76. Article 76 talks of the President, the Council of States, which is the Rajya Sabha, and the Lok Sabha. And the head of the Lok Sabha is the people's representative, is the Honorable Prime Minister. So what is wrong in the Honorable Prime Minister who has laid the foundation and who could complete that in a record time to, with his own hands, if he is doing the inauguration, as a member of parliament? Yes, even if as a political party, even if they would have felt that, okay, had it been Honorable President, it would have been better, but there is no point in boycotting such a great function.
Why boycott? You know, the point being made here is that the Congress party also boycotted the GST midnight session. At that time, both the Prime Minister and the President were present. So you have insulted the President and the Prime Minister then also. So in what capacity then are you talking about insulting the first citizen?
Let me make a few things clear. When Sir talked about that we did not raise our voice when the foundation stone was being laid, and our former President Ramnath Kovind ji, who was a Dalit leader earlier, he was insulted. We did raise our voices and we made it very clear that that the Bharatiya Janata Party was also then insulting the President. So it is not that we did not raise that issue. Second thing, when he talks about that the Prime Minister he's the executive head of the Lok Sabha, absolutely. But the President, it's the President first, then you have both the houses coming under. So the President is the absolute head. So why not the President? Like
why
I said,
not the President?
May I say something?
Yes, please.
I'm sure that this has been done with the total advice, suggestion and agreement with the President, Honorable President and Honorable Vice President. I don't think Honorable Prime Minister would do anything like this, of this nature, without talking to them. So we cannot presume that this is not done, this is done in their ignorance. Number two, I would like to say quickly that about the controversy, it's like the black dot on the moon. Nazar utaro, uske liye hum kala tipki lagate hain. So I look at it from that point of view.
Okay, Professor Makhanlal, you know, this entire issue which has been raised with regards to Sengol, you know, whether it actually symbolizes transfer of power. The Congress says no, the BJP says yes.
As a historian,
yes, please, historian.
As a historian, let me remind first two words. So much is being made out. Dalit president, tribal president. If you have such a regard, why did you oppose their election? Why did you put the candidate against them? Number one, if you have such a regard, hold on, I'm coming on that. President is the first person, first citizen in the country. So also the governors, the first president in the state. What happened when NXC was inaugurated by Mrs. Gandhi? Was there no president at that time? What happened when library building was inaugurated within the premises of present parliament? Was there no president? In what capacity Mrs. Sonia Gandhi inaugurated Manipur Vidhan Sabha? In what capacity? Was there no Rajyapal? In what president? She inaugurated Chhattisgarh. She and Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, they inaugurated Chhattisgarh Vidhan Sabha, in what capacity? Was there no Rajyapal? After all, when you talk about president, you talk about Rajyapal also. You look at your own conduct also.
So Radhika, the point is being made. I'll come to you on Sengol because since you have talked about history, the question is that Congress in itself, you have not followed protocols. Yeah. So in the sense that you have Mrs. Gandhi, not even being an executive head, has gone ahead and inaugurated because it was her party governing those particular states.
I'm sorry, but जिसे कहते हैं ना, I don't want to use that word. Sir is very senior, so I will not use that वैचारिक के ऊपर हिंदी word है. But comparing the governor to the president, I'm sorry, sir,
both
you can't compare.
Have their own place in the constitution. No comparison. Sorry, don't distract. Don't please distract.
Let me complete.
The governor and president both have the independent position in the constitution.
Let me complete.
And president's position in the country same as Rajyapal in state.
Please let me complete.
Please don't distract like this.
Go ahead, Radhika. Yes, do not compare the president and the governor. Second thing, by saying that the Congress did this, I'm sorry, that's a very, very useless argument. That is why we are going to insult the president of the country, because Sonia Gandhi ji inaugurated that. So we are comparing an annexing which was inaugurated.
You don't think governor was?
Please maintain some.
Governor was insulted. You don't.
I'm sorry, I cannot
Here
shout.
President is being insulted.
Sir, please.
Not governor.
Let's maintain that.
Okay,
respect,
okay.
please.
Annexing and library building, please.
Comparing a library building or an annexing building to the entire parliament again is like comparing apples and oranges just because they're fruits.
Just look at the background. You have the new Indian Parliament and the old Parliament of India. This is what new India is. Everything that has been associated with the new structure, the Central Vista project, has been opposed by the opposition.
So the old parliament was also made by the Indian people money. The workers who worked to build that parliament were also Indian labourers. The sandstone which was made use was also from India. And it is, how old is the Indian parliament? There are countries in the world where there's France, England, or the US who have hundreds of years old buildings.
When I walk in the old parliament, I have to look every step down because there are upper khabar, slabs, there are iron things. It has just been holding up. It's been 1927 to 2023. And even Congress and Sheila Dikshit and so many of their people and everyone has said that we need new parliament building with the increasing number of members of parliament, increasing number of states and facilities. So that way I should keep all my torn saris because they've been there and not get any new cloth for myself, or not repair the house, or not go into a new house. No, I don't think this kind of a thing holds. New parliament is done by Indians. That was done in the British Raj, number one. Number two, it was a symbol of the British Empire, the imperial India, not democratic India. Okay. So I think we need to remember all these things, and we should welcome that so much thought and planning has gone into building this new parliament building. I can't wait to enter it.
You can't wait to enter it, but Professor Markanlal, let's put the focus on Sengol because the entire debate around that.
I'm sorry that entire debate is not around that. As you saw that it is being distracted in all the direction. But the fact is every independent state has a symbol, and Sengol is the symbol coming at least from our recorded, not memory goes long back, recorded history is 7th century AD, almost about 1500 years. This is there are two symbols called Rajdand and Dharmadand. Dharmadand is held by the chief conscience keeper guru of the state, and Rajdand is held by the ruler. Recently, when Prince Charles' coronation was done, did you see the Rajdand being handed over to him? If not, what was being seen? Number two, this is a symbol exactly like flag, and Rajdand is always along with the one who is the chief. Here the Rajdand means parliament chief, and it is put exactly where it should be, where everyone sits as a member, including Prime Minister. He sits there as Prime Minister, but first he is a member. And Rajdand is above him. Just look at the location of it. And look at Rajdand is above being placed than the speaker. Certain things have to be understood in terms of tradition, in terms of symbol and the weight they carry. It's very important. All those, let me tell you, this was, I come from Allahabad. I had seen this. I had seen this first in Allahabad Museum, Municipal Corporation Museum, and then Anand Bhavan. I was born and brought up in Allahabad. अभी भी रोज हर 4 महीने में जाते हैं. It was said, walking stick, golden walking stick given to Jawaharlal Nehru. Why it was said? I am putting on record, hear this carefully. In 1953, a delegation, French delegation came to India, traveled all over. Pondicherry was their first and last destination, obviously. Mother was there. They asked for the time to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Time was given 10 minutes. And they praised, French delegation praised India's culture, civilization, its people, and say, future of the world lies following India. And Jawaharlal's reply was, you are praising the very same things I am trying to destroy. ये published है, French में भी है, English में है. I am saying this on open on channel. I have said this on Sunset channel also.
Okay.
If the man was thinking I am trying to destroy everything, और उनका अपना लेख है, penned by him. I am a Hindu by accident. I am a British by education, and I am Muslim by culture, civilization, and taste. That is his own article.
Okay.
How can you expect any justice to Indian system?
So the point,
him,
here is,
not to anybody else.
And you have seen in the last few hours, several union ministers have done a lot of fact checking, as they say, to points that have been made by the Congress leaders. The charge is that the Congress party hates India's tradition and culture.
Where was the government for 9 years? Were they sleeping? Why did they not bring it to the whole parliament? Were they sleeping for 9 years? अगर इतना बड़ा हमारे देश का ट्रेडिशन है, इतना हमारा कल्चर है, 9 साल आप सो रहे थे, कौन सी कुंभकर्णी नींद में थे? For 9 years, why were they sleeping over it? They did not know about it for 9 years? He knows about it for long. Okay. It was there in the Allahabad Museum. It was there everywhere.
May I put in my word? Thank you. My colleague, the eminent dancer, Dr. Padma Subramaniam, has said on television channels that she translated an article in Tughlaq, the Tamil weekly, monthly, into English, which talks about Sengol. And for the first time, and she sent it to Prime Minister with her own note. And that is how the whole, because she's a historian like I am, you know, we are students of history, and nobody seems to have heard about Sengol till then. Another thing that the Tamil scholars now say that Thiruvalluvar, the great Tamil saint, poet, and the Thevarams are all about that. They speak about Sengol. Andal, who is like the Meera, our Meera in South India, she has sung, and the word Sengol appears there. The Chola dynasty, particularly the Cheras, the Pandyans also, but the Chola dynasty. Now we are not talking of monarchy, we are talking of the common good of the people, and this becomes a symbol of the state, the adhikar, the dharma, the justice for everyone. And it is not that Prime Minister is holding it in his hand, not like King Charles. That will be placed above everything. So I think there's a symbolism that we need to really appreciate and understand.
Okay.
They've given the supremacy to the Lok Sabha.
Yes.
Or the Parliament. So Parliament is supreme, where all the rules of the soil were made, and that supremacy is given to the Parliament, and the Prime Minister has kept it at the right place. He did not keep it with him, as ma'am clearly said. He has given that as the power to, he has enhanced, the Honorable PM has enhanced the power of the Parliament. He said, this is the house, this is the Union of States where the rules of the soil were made, and this is the supreme. The supremacy has been protected while protecting the tradition of the country as well as the supremacy of the Parliament. Hats off to the Honorable Prime Minister for this wonderful move of bringing the Sengol to the right place at the right time.
So finally, the Sengol is coming to the Parliament and is being given its right place.
The
Like I said, why was it not given its place for 9 years?
He's
Why
not
all this?
aware.
Why
Can
does
I-
everything be done
I
for
just
camera?
mentioned,
And why
madam,
not
if
give?
you heard me,
Ma'am,
Sonal,
I
please,
just
I don't
talked
want to
about
go
that.
about
I
what
just
the-
talked about that.
Can I speak for a minute?
And very
This is
sad that same respect is not being given to the first
No.
citizen of the country. The Prime Minister goes on his trips when somebody उनके पैर छूते हैं, वापस उनके पैर छूते हैं. The Prime Minister should go and touch the feet of our president and apologize for not inviting her also.
No,
It's
can
very
I-
sad. Yes.
This is a very solemn
Sad day for the
occasion
democracy.
for the nation. And let us remember from 1992 during the time of Narasimha Rao as a Prime Minister and Ghulam Nabi Azad as a Parliament Secretary. Discussion has gone on among all the parties and they have all agreed that we should have a new parliament. During Meera Kumar's time, plans were made. It's just another thing that project is being completed during different regimes. Regimes keep changing, but parliament is institution we all must learn to respect and participate, forgetting everything. Today somebody else is in power, tomorrow you will be in power.
Yes.
Don't
The
forget.
structure of parliament will remain.
Yes. Parliament is going to be remain, and all of you have been party to the decision that we should have a new parliament building.
And perhaps the Honorable President of India would have authorized the Prime Minister to do this.
It is not without the
Should have
consultation.
authorized. Otherwise,
very simple basic question in layman's language. जब आपके घर में कोई बीमार होता है, उसको कैंसर होता है या बड़ी बीमारी होती है, तो पहले आप इलाज पे पैसे खर्च करेंगे कि वो ठीक हो, कि आप जाके नया घर बनाएंगे. That is how you manage. Of course, it could have been after Corona was done.
That
There were
debate
people
got
losing
settled
their
long
jobs.
back.
You remember those scenes when our workers had to travel barefoot?
No, but
You
why
see
is that
job
being raised
losses
now?
are we saying
Of
we
course,
don't
I've
have
been
money to
raising that
build even our own
continuously.
office? Are we so poor? Don't we have money to even? Don't we have money to even build an office for
So many
the?
questions.
Yes. So Sonal Mansingh has a question. Please go ahead. ma'am.
Yeah, so in time of Meera Kumarji, when she was speaker, this was already drawn out.
Yeah.
Then why was it not the work not started?
So let me make this very clear. We are not against the new parliament building being made. We are questioning the timing. Let me complete.
Answer my question.
I'm answering your question. I'm coming to that and I will answer it. I'm not the Bharatiya Janata Party that I will shy away
You don't
from the
have to be
question.
so sarcastic, madam, at every sentence.
That's ma'am, you can't decide how to talk.
Please go ahead, Radhika. Radhika, go ahead. Yes.
Let me
He's
talk.
an independent MP.
Yeah.
So let me complete. So there is a time and place for everything. Like I said, जब आपके घर में कोई बीमार होता है, तो आप अगर नया घर बना रहे होते हैं, तो उसकी construction you stop it. That is the same way. When the COVID was a problem in the entire world, not just India, we've seen how people have died. We've seen how oxygen was not available in our own Delhi. The Prime Minister was in Delhi. The government, the central government is in Delhi. The state government failed. Yet the government did not come
Can
to
we
help
put
people
the
of
debate
Delhi.
back on this?
These
Because that
are
has
people
been
died on
settled.
the road.
More than
true.
in India.
This can never be
It's
settled
not
because
true, not true.
when the country needed the
Not
money,
true.
the parliament was
Not
being
true.
built.
I'm saying.
Fact check, please.
Yeah.
Not true.
Okay, let's
It is a fact
let's
check.
start
You need a
wrapping
fact
this
check, ma'am.
this
The COVID
conversation.
was killing people.
I'm just trying to understand, could the opposition, 19 parties that have come together and boycotting this, have handled it differently? It was not about protocol clearly. This is about one-upmanship which is playing
I'm sorry,
out.
it's clearly about protocol.
Yes.
Like I again said, the first Dalit woman president, the first tribal woman president. You first insulted Ramnath Kovind ji. You did
I-
not let
I
him
don't
lay the
think we
foundation
need to
stone.
visit that again.
Then you
Maria.
insult President Draupadi ji. Why? Why is she not invited?
Okay.
Oh,
Why is she
God.
being taken away the right? As women, all three
as-
of us should be standing with her. That she
As
is a
member
woman
of parliament
president.
of ISRCP, your thoughts on the on 28th? It's a how do you look at that day? Because you know, for
it's-
every citizen of India, that will be a day to
Yes.
watch out.
Yes.
Everybody will be clued in into television sets to watch the entire ceremony.
Yes, it's a special day for every Indian. So the building being built by British, we are coming out of that and we are entering our own parliament building built by us, and it is indeed the most prestigious moment. We are all looking forward for that time, and when it would become 12 on 28th, 12 p.m. on 28th, we are all looking for that, and I wish whatever may be the differences with regard to whether it has to be built or not, that has been the main question as it appeared from ma'am's talk. So it has been built. It has been built with public money, and we all must respect that, and every Sansad, if he is a serious Sansad, must attend this, and as ma'am said, and only with the order of the Honorable President Draupadi Murmu ji, the Prime Minister is
Okay.
Well, I hope the
doing
president
this.
comes in,
Professor, a quick thought from you and then ma'am gets the final word.
I personally feel that this parliament, new parliament, is a pride for this country. Till date, we had no parliament. We had the Princess Chamber built by British. It was not named parliament, it was renamed parliament. Now we have a real parliament built from our own vision, of our own vision, and for our own vision. My earnest request to all of them is, leave the Princess Chamber behind, move into Parliament of India. That is what I will request to all of them.
Wonderful, sir.
I totally agree with Professor Makhanlal ji. I agree with him, and Radhika ji, namaste to you for raising certain issues. Thank you. Last word, let a most prosperous and auspicious period of Indian history begin with this wonderful, wonderful ceremony day after tomorrow, 28th May 2023. I salute my new parliament, the Sengol, and I salute my nation, Bharat. Vande Mataram.
Okay, on that note, I think we should just end this conversation. Yes. Thanks so much for watching.
Good evening, hello and welcome. You're watching The Right Stand here on CNN News 18 with me, Poonam Burde. In less than 48 hours from now, India will get a new parliament. A new and improved one, in the words of a former member of parliament and a former chief minister, a pretty damn impressive one. A massive building sprawling over 64,000 square meters will be dedicated to the nation on Sunday. Large halls fitted with modern communications tech that can accommodate hundreds of MPs. Interiors which reflect our culture and our heritage. 3 national symbols adorn the walls and